people on that auto ship program, right? So to sign up in auto ship 50 to 200, wherever they fit in, you let them do that, whatever the case might be. And that's really the cornerstone. So we want to make sure that those things happen. If nothing else happens, that person gets on the auto ship program. Now, the empowering the new business partner is part of the Quick Start. So that's based on the Quick Start. We can hand these out now. So this is the one page. So we have the presentation on one side, and then the Quick Start training on the other side of the page. So we built, organizations, nationwide, in short amounts of time, using these two. It used to be 2 sheets of paper. Now it's 1. It's 1 sheet of paper. This is it. Now, make sure everyone has one. Now, a lot of people, like I was when I first came into the industry, working in corporate environments, having success, from the standpoint of participating in athletics at a high level, just doing different things. When I was taught this system, I did not use it. I was like, this is too elementary. I'm like so sophisticated and knowledgeable, and I have all this information in this education. I can't be walking around with 2 pieces of paper. It has to be more complicated. It's 1 piece now, right? It has to be more complicated than that, right? And I had someone who started in the business, and I'm going to tell you the length of my psychosis, right? Just the depth of my insanity. Gentleman sponsored me into the business. I got started a week after him, which basically means that we're starting at the same time. Does that make sense? Both our first time in network marketing, but I thought I had better ideas and concepts, right? So we fast forward 7 months later, this gentleman has quadrupled his income, retired from his job, he resigned from his job, and now he's working the business full time as one of the top 10 producers in the company. I called him one day from work. And we had a presentation that previous day, and I'm going to give him some pointers on the presentation because, it was scheduled to be an hour presentation. It was like a 2-hour presentation. It was very long, and I was calling him, giving him pointers on the phone. Now, I'm at work at my desk in my cubicle, and he's at home in his pajamas with a robe on, right, doing 3-ways. And then I had to rush off the phone because I was having a personal conversation, right? And my boss was walking out of his office. That was my insanity. I'm going to give him all the information, and I'm creating these manuals. I'm going on the internet, getting information. I had a binder with information that I was just dropping on people. Yeah, just take a look at that. Like 150 pages. That was my recruiting process, right? But they were telling us, just follow the system, use the information. Now, fast forward another 3 months. After I understood the lunacy of that conversation that we just had, I went to him, I said, look, I want to be where you are. I don't want to be working anymore. Just tell me what to do, and I'm going to do it this time, right? So after 3 months, I was able to resign from my job based on just using the information and the system. But that 8 months that I was uncoachable cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even if you still calculate it, it's like millions of dollars. Just that 8 months of uncoachable. Does that make sense? So don't allow the simplicity of this, regardless of your background, regardless of your level of education or whatever the case might be. Don't allow the simplicity to discount the power of what I'm about to share with you in 5 minutes, because it's really not that complicated, right? Because you can read the page, right? The presentation is just the information on the page. Depending on your understanding of the business and the company, you can embellish on any one of these boxes from a minute to 10 minutes, depending on the knowledge that you have. Does that make sense to you? Right? So the psychology of the page is designed to answer those 5 questions. Well, 4, right? Because it's up to you to have them trust you and and have a good relationship. Does that make sense? Right? Because if the person doesn't trust you, they're not going to do anything anyway. If they have any doubts about you and your character, they're not going to do anything with you. It doesn't matter how great the products are. They'll actually find somebody else to go in business with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So you have to, be responsible for that piece of it. But this piece of paper is designed, does it make sense? Is it simple? Can I do it? And when do I get my money back? That's all this is designed to do. Does that make sense? Now, so if I talk to somebody and I say, you just got started in business, right? Dr. Byford, you just got started in business, right? Today, right? I want him presenting tomorrow. He got started today. I want him presenting with this one page tomorrow. And this is what I'm going to say to you. You want to join me up front? Dr. Craig Byford, give him a round of applause. Fantastic, right? So this lucky I know you, boy. So this is just a conversation. This is part of my quick start training with him. Does that make sense? This is just a conversation. So Craig, I know you see the opportunity. You had an opportunity to see this presentation when we first got started. Does that make sense? Right? You remember that, right? So, and it mirrored the three-way call that we did, as well as the pre-recorded call. So you're familiar with this information, the way that it's laid out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, what I want you to do, I know you got about 10 people that you want to talk to about this tomorrow, right? I want you to take this piece of paper and I just want you to read the page. Can you read what was the first box say?
It says why. Right now, pay down your bills, your mortgage, support your finances, your ministry.
Right.
You can have better health.
Right. So he said that now, and then you tell them why you got started, right?
Okay.
And you just say that these are some of the reasons that people get started, and then you just read the page. Now, they're going to ask you a question. This is what you say. They ask you a question. This is exactly what I want you to say. Nothing more, nothing less. That's a great question. I just got started. I don't know the answer to that question, but you need to get on the phone with my business partner, Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. Who can do that? Right? Now, the instruction is no matter what question they ask you, that's your response. So if they say, right after they ask you that question, why can't you explain it to me? What's your answer? I just got started. Does that make sense? I just got started. That's a great question. It's the same thing, no matter what they say. And what is that the perfect segue for? Three-way call. So a new person, if they just follow your instruction, and all you got to do now is part of that quick start, teach them how to set up the three-way, which is not difficult. He is empowered to start building this business right away. And that's what we want. We don't want him to wait for the package from corporate, although it's going to come. It has great information in it, but it's going to take a couple of days for it to get there. Does that make sense? So we want them building right away, because when is he the most excited?
Right now.
Right now. Does he have to know what he's talking about? No. Right? I've been in for a month and a half and I'm learning stuff that I didn't know. And we're going to continue to learn stuff. Does that make sense? So we don't want him to think that it's what? Hard. It's simple. I'm going to sit down with you for 30 minutes and teach you how to talk about this page, right? Read the page. Now, has he been exposed to this information already?
Yes.
Yes. Pre-recorded call, three-way call, in-home meeting. So he has some, he's going to remember some of the points. Does that make sense? So, but what is his instruction? If they ask you a question, I just got started. That's a great question. You need to talk to my business partner and whoever it is. Does that make sense? Give him a round of applause. Thank you, sir.